Tuesday, August 16. Counterfeit worship. In 1 Kings 11, Ahijah came to Jeroboam, Solomon's servant, with a message that he would become king over 10 of the tribes of Israel. But the prophet made it clear to Jeroboam that his success would depend on his faithfulness to God's commandments. Unfortunately, Jeroboam listened only to what he wanted to hear, and he forgot the conditions of success. He was all too ready to lead in the revolt, and almost immediately he took steps to prevent his subjects from returning to Jerusalem to worship. Now consider 1 Kings 12, verses 25 through 27. What does this tell us about the power and influence worship can have on the human mind? Here's the text. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in the mountains of Ephraim, and dwelt there. Also he went out from there and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now the kingdom may return to the house of David. If these people go up to offer sacrifices in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then the heart of this people will turn back to their Lord, Rehoboam king of Judah, and they will kill me and go back to Rehoboam king of Judah. Consider the account of Jeroboam setting up a counterfeit religion that would eventually separate Israel from the worship of the true God in Jerusalem. Notice how this new worship resembled the worship of the true God, and at the same time contradicted most of the clear counsel of Yahweh. Number 1, it offered sacrifices and ordained non-Levite priests. It made calves of gold to worship, made Bethel a place of worship, made Dan a place of worship, instituted a rival feast to the Feast of Tabernacles, and built shrines in high places. Counterfeit money cannot deceive unless it looks like the real thing. Thus, Jeroboam knew that his false worship must have many of the same elements of worship that the people were accustomed to, though he eventually declared, pointing to the golden calves, Here are your gods, O Israel, which brought you up from the land of Egypt. It is so easy from our perspective today to look back and wonder, how could they have fallen into such blatant apostasy? But humans have an incredible capacity to deceive themselves, and we deceive ourselves if we think we are not just as vulnerable as they were back then. Consider yourself, your lifestyle, your mode of worship. What might you be doing that is, in principle, not a whole lot different from what happened during the times of Jeroboam and Rehoboam? How willing are you to make changes if need be?